I used to think loneliness was something to be avoided at all costs. It made me feel isolated and empty, like I was missing out on life. But what if I told you that feeling lonely might be one of the most powerful experiences you could have? Trust me when I say that. I know we are conditioned to believe that happiness is found in the company of others, in constant hum of activity. Yet, what if the very loneliness we try to escape is the forge that shapes our true character? A place where, stripped of distraction, we discover the essence of who we really are. Loneliness is more than a simple emotional response. It's a complex psychological and physiological signal that has evolved over the human experience. Recent studies show that our brain treats social pain like loneliness similar to physical pain. This is because in our evolutionary past, being isolated from the group meant a higher risk of danger and a lower chance of survival. The brain's response to loneliness is essentially an alarm system urging us to reconnect for safety and well-being. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Today's modern society, with its digital connections and social distraction, has disrupted this natural alarm system. We are surrounded by people, yet many of us still feel profoundly alone. This disconnection between our social need and our actual experience of connection is what makes loneliness so pervasive today. It's not just being physically alone. Is about the feeling of emotional and psychological disconnection between people and their sense of purpose. In this video, I'm going to turn your perception of loneliness on its head. Together, we'll explore how these quiet, solitary moments are not just empty, but filled with the potential for profound self-awareness and resilience, leading you to a richer and a more purposeful life. First, see loneliness as a mirror for self-reflection. Imagine a moment where the world falls away and it's all just you. No distraction, no noise. It's in that stillness, in that silence that you meet yourself. It's uncomfortable, I get it. But here's what you might be missing. Loneliness is like a mirror, showing you parts of yourself you might be avoiding. For me, it was during these periods of loneliness that I faced my biggest fears, but also to rediscover dreams that I buried long ago. That's when I realized solitude isn't just empty space, it can be a canvas where your true self starts to take shape. Second, loneliness can foster independence and resilience. Let's get real. Loneliness isn't just about feeling isolated, it's also about learning to stand on your own. When you're alone, you become your own lifeline. You build resilience not just because you want it, but because you have to. I remember a time when I felt completely cut off, like no one could understand what I was going through. But instead of crumbling, I started to lean into that solitude. I discovered strength that I didn't know I had. I became my own biggest supporter. Suddenly, challenges didn't seem so impossible anymore. They became opportunities to prove to myself just how strong I really was. And the third reason is that loneliness can be a catalyst for creativity. What if I told you that those lonely moments could be breeding grounds for your most creative ideas? Think about it. When there is no one around, your mind is free to wander, to explore without limits. That's where creativity lives, in the quiet spaces. Some of the history's greatest minds, Einstein and Virginia Woolf, found their genius in solitude. For me, it was during this lonely time that ideas started flowing, ideas I might never have had if I was caught up in the noise of everyday life. Solitude isn't just a void, it can be where your creativity finds room to breathe. And lastly, loneliness can help you improve social connection. Here's the paradox. When you embrace loneliness, you deepen your connection with others. Sounds backward, right? But think about it. When you are okay with being alone, you stop clinging to people out of fear and neediness. You start choosing your relationship more intentionally, valuing quality over quantity. I used to seek out others just to avoid the feeling of being alone. But once I learned to be comfortable with myself, everything changed. My relationship became richer and more meaningful because I wasn't just trying to fill a void. I was connecting from a place of strength. And that shift is something you can achieve. Remember that loneliness isn't a burden. It's a doorway to a deeper self-awareness, resilience, and creativity. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself in ways you never imagined and to forge stronger and more meaningful connections with others. Sometimes the most significant personal growth happens in the quietest moments. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel and push the notification bell so you stay fresh with our latest content. Until next time again, peace and love. Take care.